Hey guys, this will serve as our weekly overview for May 26th. This is also beginning our next block of training, which we'll get into more of the specifics in another video. So first, starting off Monday on Memorial Day, we do have open gym from 8:30 to 11. Okay, so if you guys want to run Murph then or run another hero WOD, you definitely can, but we're keeping it pretty open. But Aaron will be there to help out. Other coaches will probably be there too, but I know Aaron for sure will be there to help out if you have any questions or need any guidance. On Tuesday, we are starting out with front squats, and you're going to see that this front squat is going to kind of be there every other week. And we're going to start out really working on the tempo and looking at time under tension. So we have a 2-second negative, 1, 2, 5-second hold, and then up. And we're going to build to a 3-rep max. So lots of time under tension here. We're really working on positions. This is the time to get your hips down, knees forward, chest up, and really push into that. So just think about doing this as as quality as you can, but definitely positionally sound. Okay, we want to see that as you're driving up, the knees are staying stable, the hips are staying forward, the knees are staying forward, and we're not shooting the hips up on the way up. But really, it's a time to really dial in the technique, improve that, because we're also going to be doing a lot of cleans in this cycle. So just kind of keep that in mind, is that we are trying to improve that front rack position and improve your bottom position for that. After that, 9-minute AMRAP, just very simple mover. After having Murph on Saturday, and even if you ended up doing it yesterday, just want to keep it kind of simple today. So 9-minute AMRAP, 3, 6, 9, 12, just continuing up with a goblet squat and a ring row. For the RX Plus, you can do that with a D-ball for the goblet squat, so you're going to hug the D-ball, and then you can have feet elevated on a box for the ring row, okay? So you can make it a little more challenging there, but really mostly just a mover, working on just, improving that squat position and doing a little bit of horizontal pulling. On Wednesday, we have a push press plus split jerk, so this will be our first intro to the split jerk. Okay, we will be working on the split jerk from a performance standpoint throughout this block. Now, that said, is that we want to really think about, like, if you don't have the push jerk down, then that's what we're doing for fitness. It's push press plus push jerk. We don't really even need to really transition to that split jerk unless, we have that down. It's obviously going to be light because it's on the 2 minutes for 7 sets, so we're really pushing a lot of volume here. So just think about again, we're working on the positions today. We're working on improving that. After that, we have 15 deadlifts at 135, 10 push presses at 50 and 35, and then 5 box jumps. So 5 rounds for time. Top target sub 6, pretty quick workout. Again, the weight here on the deadlift should be pretty light. Everything here actually should be pretty light. The box jumps kind of being the toughest thing that we have to jump up and then hop down on, being kind of a slower part of this whole thing. The more challenging part of it, honestly. So when it comes to the fitness, again, we want to make sure that we're doing a weight that is that is very manageable, very light. We can do that in 1 set, maybe 2, just because we want to break it up and pace it. And then 10 push presses, and then again, just jumping on a box that you're comfortable with. But again, just doing some sort of jump that you feel comfortable with is going to be a huge win today. All right, on Thursday, we have 20 minutes at 80% effort. So 400-meter run, 250-meter ski, 400-meter run, and then 250-meter row. In the larger classes, obviously, we can kind of mix that up. We are going to be doing these sort of upper body, core hypertrophy circuits during this block, the summer block. On these longer aerobic days, we'll be throwing them in as extra pieces or maybe even mixing them in. But it's 15 minutes to complete, 4 to 5 rounds, banded pull-aparts, dumbbell bicep curls with a 3-second negative. Again, negatives are really important for hypertrophy, so just working on that full range of motion all the way up, all the way down. And then sit up, so we can do that weighted or with the GHD. If you do it with the GHD, you can even do those as partial range of motions. You don't have to go all the way down, but just, again, we're trying to challenge the core here and just picking something that's a little bit harder than what we normally would do with a regular sit-up or even like a toe to bar. So just kind of challenging yourself to a higher skill today. On Friday, we are going to open up with 12 rounds for time, 3 strict handstand push-ups. This is kind of our tough gymnastic day. 5 burpees, and then 7 kettlebell swings. So you're moving through that for 12. We're looking at top targets of sub 10. I think that's totally doable, or even doing this as an EMOM. Then we're just capping it at 15. If you have strict, but maybe 3 is a lot, you can't do that in 2 sets or less, then maybe just go to 2 and do 2 every round. Or obviously you can go to kipping. Now for the fitness, we're going to go seated dumbbell strict press just to challenge the strength, giving you a range of what I think most people would kind of have tough time with, or where it would be for most people that are doing fitness. And then we still have burpees and the kettlebell swings, and it's only 10 rounds for time. We're just bringing some of the volume down a little bit. Now this is where it gets interesting. We don't normally do this, but we are actually going to bench press after the Metcon today. So looking at the bench press on the 3 minutes, 10, 8, 6, 6. And, you can complete that complete basically these banded push downs where our arms are straight. We're pushing down with the band overhead, on the higher pull-up bar, and we're just activating the lats. We're looking at this just being more of an upper body press and pull, kind of finish piece, doing some things that are going to kind of set us up for success in the long run. All right, on Saturday we are got a snatch focus, and we will be doing a lot of snatch focuses on Saturdays, mixed with gymnastics, kind of alternating each week. On this, we have on the 90 seconds for 8 sets. This is for the fitness. We're going to be doing snatch, pull, plus high hang power snatch. The difference with performance is we're actually going to be trying to do a full snatch, okay? We're trying to getting down below parallel. You see this as 1 snatch pull, 2 of the middle piece, whether that's high hang power or high hang snatch, plus 1 overhead squat. 5-second pause on the overhead squat. Again, working our range of motion, trying to improve our positions. That's all we're really focusing on this day. Is like, hey, we're just getting into the snatch. If it's something that it's pretty uncomfortable for you, then it is good to do the power versions, and then even just pushing any sort of overhead squat, whether that's with a PVC pipe or anything, just challenging your range of motion or squat. We are not looking for something heavy today. There's nothing to be intimidated about. It's really about moving light and just moving well and trying to really improve your positions. That's what we want to be focusing on through this block. Towards the end we may end up doing some heavier touches, but for now we want to just see how this is going to progress, from week to week with everybody inside the class. After that, 10-minute AMRAP in teams of 2. Partner 1, you're doing 8 dumbbell hang power snatches, and then you're doing a 40-foot, so we do 20 down on one arm, switch, 20 down on the other arm of lunges, okay? Oh, sorry, we're doing front rack lunges, not overhead lunges. I think mix those up at some point. But if you have, RX Plus is that single arm overhead lunge. So if you're going to do a front rack lunge, overhead lunge is the option for RX Plus today. While that partner is working and doing that, the other partner is just doing wall walks as smooth as they can. Once they finish the 8 dumbbell hang power snatches plus overhead lunge, the lunges in the front rack or overhead lunges, then we'll switch partners and you do that again, and we're just calculating total wall walks today. So we're looking at this as very much a upper body endurance workout, working on improving our overhead range of motion with those lunges, whether we're doing those here in the front rack or the overhead lunge if we have it. And make sure you can really lock your elbow out if you're even going to go for that overhead lunge. If you can't lock the elbow out, don't struggle through it. Just put it in the front rack and go. It will probably get fatiguing with the wall walks, so later on in the workout you might have to go to that anyway. Anyway, guys, that's it for this week. We'll continue to try to do these in the future, and look out for trying to go over a little bit of a block overview. If you have any questions, as always, you can reach out to me at brandon@makocrossfit.com or on social media, or if I see you in the gym and I haven't said hi or anything, just let me know, and I'd like to meet you, face to face. So we'll see you in the gym.